Hello there, Dr. Neptune here. It's the end of the summer, traditionally, Labor Day. And here on Neptune, what that means is another record high in the 113 degree range. And also the sky is obscured by a veil of smoke from California wildfires that made it all the way into outer space. So a pretty miserable day, actually, but not so bad when you're inside and cool and have a drink next to you. And here, what you're looking at is a box set of Tori Amos. This was in some ways one of the hardest videos for me to get started, actually. I tried several times a couple weeks ago, kept on screwing it up, and I felt like Tori was telling me something, to go and listen to her stuff again, because it had been a while. And so I did. I listened to her two newest albums and a bunch of her older stuff that I knew but hadn't heard in a while. So I think I'm ready. Help me, Tori. I'll do my best. I'm going to show the discs in this set later, after I go through the individual albums, but I wanted to start with this because I love the package. It's so cool. It's an actual little keyboard. Would have been even cooler if there was a battery in there that would have this make noise, but probably would have been too expensive. This came out in '06 and is a retrospective to that time. I saw Tori 3 times, and she was amazing each time. Just an incredible live performer. This is the booklet that comes out of that box set, and here she is doing her thing. She would play 2 pianos at the same time. That's what she's doing here. Switch back and forth, and sometimes there's a piano and a harpsichord, but that's always an impressive section of her shows. And so I'm going to start with her first debut album called Little Earthquakes, again in '91, and this was a lot of very intensely personal lyrics and piano-driven ballads. She's a virtuoso piano player, studied classical piano, and of course writes her own songs, her own lyrics, very personal lyrics often. Really struck a chord with me when she came out with this right away. Not just her lyrics, the intensity of them, but the beauty of her voice. She's got this incredibly powerful, high, clear, beautiful voice. And so I was hooked right from the start. So this is Little Earthquakes, and from that album, a couple of the singles were Silent All These Years, which in large part is about a sexual assault that she experienced. You can see this is for the RAIN network. She's been very, very active in that charity and in others too, right from the very start of her career. So I think the story was she got a ride home from a concert earlier in her career when she was first starting out, and the guy who gave her the ride attacked her. So she's written about that in more than one song and in other ways too. And here's Crucify, another beautiful single from that album. This single came out with a couple of great cover tunes where she sings songs by the Stones, Nirvana, Led Zeppelin, and these are 2 of her own. And then I think in '92 this videotape came out, which is almost all the songs on her album, her first album. This is just her first album, and releasing live versions and music videos of all of those great songs. What an incredible debut that was. Followed up real quickly in '94. I guess not too quickly, 3 years later, with Under the Pink, which further explored a lot of the themes from that first album, expanded her sound a little bit more beyond mainly piano-based ballads, and had a little more rock orchestration. Some of these songs swing a little more than on the first album, but an incredible, beautiful collection of songs. I listened to Tori Amos a lot all through the 90s, especially for a couple years when I lived essentially alone, going to graduate school. She was a very comforting voice to me. I listened to her on headphones in the night or whatever. It seemed like she was singing from someplace inside of me. So here is a single, Winter, from the Under the Pink album. She always had a lot of B-sides. You'll see those all through the collection. On the B-sides, and on most cases, just as good as the songs that went on the final product. Here's God. Her father was some sort of preacher, I believe. Not a priest, not Catholic, but of course not. But a preacher, and so a lot of heavy religious themes in a lot of Tori's music all through. She sounds really heavy, and she is, but I don't find her depressing at all or anything like that. You have to be in the mood, I guess, to hear what she has to say, but when you are, she says it so perfectly. And so here's Cornflake Girl as a single from Under the Pink, with some more B-sides. Third album is here, Boys for Pele, in 96 this is. Somewhat controversial cover in its time. She's holding a gun, got a snake there, and here she's, I don't know, somewhere in here. This is she appears to be suckling a pig, or the pig is suckling her, not sure, but anyway, that caused a minor stir when it came out. Another just amazing collection of songs, though. This has one of my very favorites of hers, Putting the Damage On. Beautiful, slow, intense song. And then from this album also, Hey Jupiter. It's a great single from it. Jupiter, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, yeah. The Judy Garland song. High intensity all the way through for Tori. You hear the train whistle? Trains rolling through Neptune. Tallulah, fantastic song from this album. That's the one where she plays harpsichord on. And this one had a dance remix. This one, 11-minute long synesthesia mix. One of the first versions of a song that I heard in that altered format, and I loved it. So it was the very beginning of the electronic music fad, I guess you could call it. It kind of faded out, but towards the end of the 90s, you got a lot of stuff like this. Never really caught on in the States, of course, still big in the rest of the world. Comes back every now and then in different forms, but anyway, Tallulah, I have two singles of that. This is the Tornado mix. Oh, it has that same synesthesia mix. I wonder, are those the same songs? Tallulah, Tornado mix, Amazing Grace, I guess. This is import, obviously, made in England. So slightly different track list there. Here's another great single from the album, Caught a Light Sneeze. And here Professional Widow. These are all dance remixes of that song. And the springtime, in the springtime of his voodoo. All those singles came from Boys for Pele. Club mixes here. So she was really, I'd say, ahead of the curve on doing dance remixes, especially when you consider she's, most people view her as a singer-songwriter type, almost pigeonhole her like that. But she's always been very adventurous with her sound. Here's a music or a live concert from New York from '97. So this would follow Boys for Pele. This also is a benefit for Rain. Amazing performances of songs from those first 3 albums. I saw her twice. Both for the first 2 times were very, very close up. First time in a place very much like this, not far from where this picture would have been taken. And then the second place at the Hard Rock in Vegas, and then third place at Big Arena. Worst place to see any concert, but she was great as always with Alanis Morissette. More on that later. This video I watched so many times, and I'll never forget a moment in there where the camera is looking from Tori into the audience, and you see the first few rows of people, and you see this one girl. That might be her. It's kind of hard to tell, but anyway, she's a dark-haired girl in the front row, just enraptured with Tori as she's singing. She's singing Little Earthquakes, and she gets to the wordless vocal part in the middle, the climax of the song. It's a hugely emotional release moment, and the girl just is bug-eyed, transfixed, and with tears just rolling down her face. So moved. So that's what Tori can do to you. Alright. Next album was from the Choir Girl Hotel. Another series of amazing songs. Including the singles Spark, Cruel. This was a dance tune in some of its incarnations. Here you can see the Shady Feline mix in ambient type mixes. So Cruel. Whoa, hold on. I just had an avalanche there. Everything appears to be okay. The drink did not spill. This is Raspberry Swirl. This, right from the start, was a dance song. It's a dance song on the album. And these are different mixes of that. Jackie's Strength. Beautiful ballad. Inspired by Jackie Kennedy. These are scenes from the video where Tori kind of plays that role in a way. Both of these B-sides, just incredible. Love them both. Played this so many times. And here's another version of Jackie's Strength. I think, yeah, these are all dance versions. Okay. I just had to pause there. Probably you wouldn't have noticed if I hadn't said it, but I had to clean up the mess of all the CDs that just fell over. Tori is still talking to me somehow here, so I hear you. Tori. I'm doing my best. Next came this album, To Venus and Back. This is 2 CDs, one of new material and one of live versions. Okay, so here Oh, hey, there's, alright, so this was the tour that I saw her on, with Alanis Morissette, 1999, yeah, so Mandalay Bay Event Center, big arena, far from the stage, really, I got turned off of arena shows permanently after moving to Las Vegas here on Neptune. It's just not the same. And then, okay, here is the CD single for Bliss with live versions of earlier tracks. Concertina from that same album. Famous Blue Raincoat, a Leonard Cohen song. Thousand Oceans, gorgeous ballad from this, from To Venus and Back. Baker Baker song from her very first album, live here. Okay, then in 2001 she released Strange Little Girls. This really was a strange album. It's all covers. So that New Age is Velvet Underground, 97 Bonnie and Clyde, that is the Eminem song, where he and his young daughter go to dump the body of his dead wife. It's that song. Enjoy the Silence through Depeche Mode. I'm Not in Love. I'm not sure if that's the 10cc song. And you see others. There's a Beatles song, Boomtown Rats, etc. So all covers. First time she'd done that on a whole album. So this is one single from there. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that until just this moment, where she does this fantastic Alice Cooper song. Okay, Tori, maybe that's what you were trying to tell me. I'll listen to this when I'm done. Okay, that's obviously why I got this long ago. Obvious to me. Next up is a concept album called Scarlet's Walk. I really liked what she did here. And great songs here. Single, Sort of Fairy Tale, Amber Waves, Sweet Sangria. Kind of a concept about taking a journey around the U.S. A lot of, I guess these are supposed to be like Polaroids. Includes a map, and it's very ambitious. Here the legend, okay, different colored line for each song on the album. So each song represents where Scarlet, the title character, went. Lyrics on the back. And then this came in there too. I think this is probably to put stickers on that map. That's my guess. Nice bit of fan club type material. And a really, really good album too. Scarlet's Walk. Then there's this collection that she called Tales of a Librarian. She included a lot of new things mixed in with the old. And then a DVD as well. She has arranged her songs as if they were in some sort of library catalog. Always a lot of thought into all of these. Alright, and then right after that she released this live DVD. Welcome to Sunny Florida. That title is ironic because most of this concert takes place in a pouring rainstorm. She's covered on stage, but you can see that it's raining and windy outside, so adds a little bit of drama to the performance there. I think maybe she's wet there. I don't know, but as always, great to see live. And then after that, she came out with The Beekeeper, another kind of a concept album. 06 is the date here. The concept being more or less different kinds of flowers. Yeah, okay, so organized this way, different songs representing different types of plants, I guess. As I recall, this actually even came with a little packet of seeds. I think I might have thrown it out for fear that it would be somehow I don't know, might attract bugs or something. I'm pretty sure it did come with that. Alright, and then that 06 takes us up to her career retrospective, which I started off showing here. So this piano, the collection includes everything up to that point. There's a nice well-made booklet in here. And particularly as I was looking through this, I like this album and track commentary written by Tori. So pages and pages of her personal thoughts on these songs. Really interesting to hear, or to read. And this is a 5 CD set. And each one organized by albums. So Little Earthquakes Extended, her first album plus some. Disc B, Pink, Under the Pink, and Boys for Pele, material from that era, including a lot of the B-sides and live versions that were on some of those singles. C is Pele, Venus, and Tales of a Librarian. Okay, D is Scarlet's Walk, The Beekeeper, and From the Choir Girl Hotel. So not quite chronologically here, but grouped by album title. And then here's some bonus B-sides, including Beulah Land and Never Seen Blue. If you look those up online, I think you'll enjoy it if you like beautiful ballads. Okay, and then what came out from Tori next was a book. Tori with this journalist, Ann Powers, Piece by Piece, Portrait of the Artist, Thoughts and Conversations. So that's Tori's first expression of her thoughts in book form. Her next album after this was this one here, American Doll Posse. This one, frankly, I didn't like that much. Her concept here was that she's has 5 different personae that are essentially the characters of each song. I don't know, something about it just never quite connected with me. But then here is a video collection up to that point in her career. One of many of mine, as you've seen. A little hard to read, there we go. So a collection of everything that she'd done up to that point. Next album, Abnormally Attracted to Sin. Another one that I really didn't connect that much with. I haven't listened to her new work, really. It just took another direction. I don't know. she became a little bit more overtly political in some of her songs, or just went in musical directions that I couldn't connect with, especially when this came out. So this is called Night of Hunters, and release date of 2011. You can see the record label here. It's Deutsche Grammophon. That is a division of Universal, but it's always been known as a classical music label. And in fact, this is a classical music album. The orchestration, the music is classical. It's not rock, or not like what Tori had been doing before. So this really turned me off. I always appreciate when an artist stretches, but some things are just a matter of taste, and so this wasn't for me. And in fact, that's why I never really listened to her later things after that, or even the couple that I just showed leading up to it. I think she was heading in that direction, maybe, and I could tell from the way the music sounded different. So this was 2011, Night of the Hunters. In 2012, she followed up with an album called Gold Dust, which was classical reinterpretations of her older songs. And I remember hearing it once and just not ever wanting to hear it again. And then I thought, really, I guess my impression was that she was going to stick with that genre for the rest of her career. Maybe she'd left pop-type music behind. But she released 2 other albums, and those are the 2 latest ones that I went back and listened to after I screwed this video up a few times. So in 2014, she came out with one called Unrepentant Geraldines, which is kind of a return to form sonically. Lyrically, she's still very much intensely political, and sometimes obviously so for my taste, but very much Tori sounding, like the turn of the century Tori. And then in 2017, she released Native Invaders, a similar sound, and also similarly very strongly political content. But she is still working and producing new things as of today in 2020. I'm not aware of any upcoming work from her, but she, I think, is earned the right to take her time, so we'll just see. I want to conclude by showing 2 programs from 2 of the 3 Tori shows that I went to. I don't have one from the first one, but this was the second one from the Choir Girl Hotel, the one where I saw her in Las Vegas at the Hard Rock. And then the second one is from the Venus and Back tour, the one where I had the ticket stub earlier. 1999 that was. I don't have too many tour programs. The main reason being they're hard to carry around. You buy them at the event, and you gotta hang on to them the rest of the show, make sure they don't get messed up or hit the floor or something. I suppose you could buy them on your way out, but I always preferred t-shirts. And then from that same show, I also got the Alanis Morissette program. She was great. She actually, her sound, I think, is better suited to the arena, or it was back then anyway. I remember being pleasantly impressed and surprised with her. I already liked her. She'd only put out a couple albums to that point, I think, but she and Tori, I think they co-headlined on that tour. Each one would play first on a different night. And then the only other artifact I have related to all that is, I don't know, the biggest selling album of the 90s, perhaps. Jagged Little Pill. Everyone I know knows every song on this album. And Alanis had made an all-time classic there for sure. Okay, so that's where I'm going to end it with Alanis. And hope you enjoyed this look at my extensive Tori Amos collection. Thanks for watching, and happy Labor Day. I will be back soon.